your money is not just something that the elders in your life give to you. It's not just something you gain for your hard work or your service. It's more than that. It's a tool to help you move to different stages of your life and achieve particular goals, whether it be saving for a car, just achieving specific goals in your life. And there are several key concepts that we need to understand in order to get ourselves to a particular mindset.
Having the requisite knowledge about your finances, but not only knowing what the things are, what they mean, but also understanding how to make use of that, how to implement that in your daily lives, and really, it's really how the financial process, how much about it you know and how much you practice.
So financial independence is mainly focusing on you're aware of these things and you're applying these things and working towards a point in your life where you're more comfortable where you're at because of how you're managing your financial mindset and the resources that you have financially.
Again, in following what you're saying, it's not hard to learn the different areas that would fall under the whole series of finances, because something as simple as budgeting, people might just think, oh, it's just writing down what you need to spend on or something like that, but it really goes a bit deep. And the more you know about this, the more you try to understand it, is the better it is for you, because you get to appreciate it and actually add that to part of your life skills and your daily activities over that way. If it means that you can't buy KFC on a particular day, and that's a very practical example for persons who are here, who go to university, who attend universities, like, you might want to cook because you have stuff in your room, but then you have a busy day and you're saying, all right, you don't want to cook, you want to go KFC. But look at it this way, you can spend an hour or so in the kitchen if it takes that long. And you would use what you already have, so that the money that you have there, you don't have to use it to buy KFC, you don't have to use it to buy food. And also, if you're buying KFC and all of that, it don't necessarily need to be a big deal, or the price of some of the biggest meals that KFC would sell, or the priciest ones. Can be something you go buy something cheaper. You get me? So those are some of the things some simple little things that you can incorporate in your lives on a daily basis to ensure that you're saving, you're budgeting, and you're actually working on your financial growth in and of itself.
Yeah, definitely. And just taking a step back, we were talking about financial wellness and the mindset you have towards your finances. We have to think about it this way. As we get older, our needs and our wants, they're going to change. And the way that we approach things and the way that we think about things, they're going to change. So the important thing about developing ideal/mature financial mindset is establishing what exactly are our goals. But if you don't create specific practical steps towards it, what's going to happen. You need to work towards that. And it's also important when you've already set these goals that you track your progress. Personally, just like seeing growth and development from moving from one stage to the next, it's so fulfilling. It helps me feel so much better about the sacrifices I might be making just because I wanted to save a specific amount of money to buy something for school or to help out my dad or something like that. So it's very important that, we can think about it from that perspective.
Looking at how your saving patterns, your financial patterns, like what you want to accomplish, your goals, your financial goals, the other goals that you have. One of the things to know when having a financial goal is not because you save a particular amount of money and you have to spend it on something means that you didn't accomplish part of your goal, or you didn't you were bad at saving. So for example, if it's a case where you're saving, you're just putting aside money because you want to ensure that there's something there for you to use, and something comes up, if it's something really important that you do need to spend on, and you have to use that money, it doesn't mean that you failed in terms of saving, because had you not saved, that money that you can now use to get that task done that's really necessary, you would not be able to do that. So your financial journey doesn't mean that you're going to be consistent in a particular sphere that you want to. So it doesn't mean that you're going to always be saving without using that money that you're saving. Some of the times things are going to come up, things are going to be there for you to get done. Just your goals in general, your goals change from time to time. So sometimes you have to pause on a goal and do something to be able to go even higher to accomplish that goal that you set out for initially. So that's one of the great things to understand about this as well.
We're going to go on to financial planning. Yeah. Now, planning, you can't always predict what's going to happen, but it's better to always have a plan B, plan C, and understand what you would do in a particular situation. And like we were talking about budgeting earlier, that's a perfectly good example of planning financially. You can't be expecting that because this is what usually happens at a particular time, it's always going to be happening this specific time. You need to plan for emergencies. And we have definitely, well, we should have understood this from what has happened recently. It's very important to plan ahead and have money set aside to do particular things. Now, budgeting is not just acknowledging that you have, money and say you want to spend this and you want to spend that. You put it on paper, you lock the book, and you don't see it to the month end. No, that's not budgeting. Budgeting in more simpler terms is acknowledging how much money you might receive at a particular time, and then deciding like, hey, these are my fixed expenses, these are my variable expenses, and these fixed expenses, I have to ensure that I'm receiving enough money to cover this. And on my variable expenses, say, okay, they're not as crucial to me as my fixed expenses. However, I'm going to put some money towards that.
And just to continue in terms of what you're saying, financial planning in and of itself is you blocking out all of the sounds around you, blocking out all of the distraction and sitting down and discussing with yourself really. What do I need to accomplish this month? What do I need to accomplish this week? What do I need to accomplish today? So, and setting those targets. So each day you set the amount that you want to spend. You probably set like somewhat of a spending cap. So you're only spending X amount of money today. You're only spending this amount of money tomorrow. And then you account for your budget. What do you need? What are your sources of income? How much do you have in your accounts? How much do you have on you so that you don't have to use what's in your account? And just working that way. So you know the amount of money that you have, what you have coming in. Then you know now what you need to be spending on. You set your spending cap for the day. Once you reach that limit, unless it's something very drastic, you don't necessarily need to get it. Then you continuously do that on a daily basis. You do that weekly, you do that monthly, and yearly. And by that, you're able to actually accomplish a lot because you have set a goal, a particular thing that you want to accomplish, and you're working towards it. And also, one of the things to note is that it's important that you start now. Not necessarily because you can't save a particular amount of money each day or whenever you can. You don't have to save a consistent amount regularly. It's good that you stay consistent in terms of how much you save and what you save and all of that. But also, if it means that you don't reach a saving amount today, like let's say you set a minimum of $1,000 to save, let's say per week. Just say, if you have, if you're saving $1,000 per week, and a particular week you have $500, don't mean you don't save the $500 there. It means you still save that $500, but you know that you would have had 500 less than what you normally saved for that particular week. So those are some of the things to look on in terms of your financial planning. It is you setting your goals. What are your short-term goals? The goals that you want to accomplish this week, this month, this year. Then you think about the goals that you want to accomplish after, your medium-term goals. Eventually, you're going to get to that, and you need to start looking at that from now. You're thinking about a car, you're thinking about a house. And so those things, you have to start planning for them from now, so that when you get there, you can accomplish them. You start thinking about where you're going to work, all of that. So that's part of the financial planning process, and we're just here to remind you that, yes, it's important that you start now. You start thinking about all the things that you want to accomplish, short-term, medium-term, long-term. And then you start working towards them, and you don't have to, again, do things every day on the same note that you want to be doing it at, or the same rate that you want to be doing it at, but at least try as much as best as possible to have some consistency in terms of what you're doing.
Like actually, there's an acronym that at VMFET that we follow. It's ACT, ACT, assessing your situation, creating specific goals, work towards the improvements that you want for your life, and tracking your progress. Having the goal and not working towards it and not understanding your progress levels, it doesn't leave that much space for improvement. It's very important that you understand the rate that you're going at, being realistic with yourself, understand, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And if for some reason, that you're not able to stay consistent, don't beat up yourself over it. It's okay. The important thing is that you get back into the groove of doing the steps that you have set in place to help you reach your particular goals. Moving from that, we're going into the values of saving and budgeting. Benefits of saving other than saying, hey, I have money put aside. There's several benefits.
Benefits of saving. You have a peace of mind, first of all, because you know that you have some level of money. So say, yo, I am not broke today because I have money. I've saved something. So that's part of it. Then you can talk about actually accomplishing your goals. So you're able to accomplish your financial goals when you do save. Because if you don't save, you're not going to have any money to accomplish these goals. So those are two. When I think about saving, benefits of saving, really, is it teaches you some level of life skill in terms of how to be consistent, how to stick to something that you set out to do, to accomplish. So it gives you that kind of that kind of vibe that, hey, I have this to do and I'm continuously doing this. And so it kind of builds that character within you so that you can actually implement this in life. Savings, again, there are so many benefits of savings. You need savings in terms of even for emergency purposes. So knowing that you have money, you can actually sort out yourself when there's an emergency, when something pops up for you to do. It's through that you can determine your character, how much you're able to spend money and how good you are with money. Because if you're not saving, then really, it's kind of, you really need to sit down, look into yourself and understand and get an understanding of what you're really trying to accomplish. You get me?
Yeah, and like what you already touched on, it would have provided a sense of independence. Okay, I don't necessarily have to rely on my guardian or my whoever to provide me with a sum of money to do something. If I'm saving for myself and something comes up and I want to do something, I can say, hey, I don't need to rely on you. I have independence. I can go do this for myself, because you've been working towards that. And we do understand, like most persons, wouldn't necessarily be in government jobs and they aren't necessarily working right now. However, saving is not just saying, hey, I am making a sacrifice to put aside money out of what I'm getting. The little money that I'm getting is not just that. It's also spending less than what you would have usually been spending. There's so much power in that, honestly. Just knowing that, okay, you take $1,000 out of my hand and you just spend $8. And then something come up and spend the $200. If for some reason, you can end up spending $400 out of the $400 instead of $800, that is saving. You're reducing the amount of money that you give to other persons from your stream of income. And some simple ways, that students can get into saving. A lot of us are creative. We can say, hey, let's make some hair bonnets. Everybody wants to do self-care. They're home. They want to relax. They want to de-stress. You go with making art, as I said, handcraft jewelry. Make that, sell that. That's a stream of income for yourself and increasing the amount of money that you'll be receiving, a way that you can actually save. Or make use of student discounts. There's a lot of persons that live on campus at UTech and UE, and they don't know that if they go into Papine Square or certain places in Mona and you present your ID, say the people don't take off 5% off your total bill. And a lot of persons don't know that this, especially if these are supposedly like supermarkets in areas near us, will make use of your ID, show them and say, hey, I go here, here's my ID, get a discount. That's some ways that you can especially save.
Even here on campus at UE, one of the key parts of the YouStat, which focuses on, and shout out to the YouStat family, of course. One of the things that the alumni relations team works on is in terms of promoting these opportunities again. So Pelican Perks, yes. Those are those show some of the benefits or the discounts that students can get. It's not wide across the board, but there are some certain discounts that you can access at some point whenever you needed that. So if you haven't, guys, check out UE. YouStat, ask your YouStat ambassador. You can, look into that.
Well, since you're bigging up, YouStat, I'm going big up, UTech Student Union, UTech Nights. Yes, if you're from UTech, you can go over to the Office of Student Services beside the Medical Center and apply for several welfare grants, whether it's towards lunch. If you're a dorm student and you need assistance with eating daily, you can reach out over there. Boarding, tuition, if you need travel expenses because you might be living under short-term accommodations and you need to go back home sometimes, you can reach out there. Another method, if you're really good at making graphics, you can say, hey guys, I'll make your posters, give me a couple, not even a couple, send me like $3,000 or something.
Yeah, just look at where you are now. What are some of the skills that you have? And see how best you can use that to get you some funds on the side. And one of the things I want to let you know as well is there are a lot of opportunities. Yes, COVID has limited us a bit, but there are a lot of opportunities for you to still, work on your savings, work on your source of income and all of that. But look at the big picture, guys. It's good for you to try as best as possible. If it's even the change that you get when you go to the supermarket or the store or wherever, it's important that you drop that aside because a lot of the times that is the money that will come back to assist you in terms of your core goals and also in emergency situations in anything that you need. So, think about that. Try to save a bit consistently, even though it's rough out here on us. Like, it's hard to save, honestly. At the end of the day, just try. Nothing beats trying. Just as long as you can, put down something. And hopefully that can materialize into something.